Happy Friday. I am coming to you live from the Big Bad Dodge truck. I'm currently sitting on the side of the canal. I'll show you. I'm sitting on the side of the canal right now in Sylvan Beach, looking at most of the east end of the lake being wide open. Wide open. That heavy rain last night did a number on our ice. Although, crazily enough, I'm looking at a shanty off of Sylvan Beach right now that's probably, I don't know, he's a couple hundred yards offshore. I don't know. Can anybody, I've never ice fished this end. I mean, it's all sand down here. He can't be in much more than 5 or 6 foot of water. Do we think that there's fish in there? You know, I mean, does anybody have any experience down here fishing off the beach through the ice? My thought is, man, you're risking your life to go out and fish in 5 foot of water. Is there anything even going on, you know? So, I don't know. But I did pull up down here, and I've got about 6 different species of duck sitting in front of me. One big bluebill that was right down along the edge of the wall down here. And if you could get out, you could walk. It's funny. So if you look down along past where the fence is up that you can't walk any farther, if you were to walk all the way down the rock wall out here at the canal, the north side of it is all iced in. The south side of it, all the way over into Lower South Bay, is wide open. I mean, I'm looking at open water, and the open water comes back around to the north about halfway between the canal and where the east end turns to the north, you know. I've lived in upstate New York and central New York here my whole life. I've never seen a January like this. Please chime in if anybody else can say that they've seen or done, you know, a January like this. I just, you know, Courtney and I were talking. She's from central New Jersey, so this is a typical winter for her in the respect that they get very little snow down there in the winter. They used to when she was younger, just like we used to get more snow here when I was younger. It's funny, people that say global warming isn't real aren't paying attention, because it is. I don't know to what extent, but and we could be just in a warm stretch. You know, listen, this planet's however many million years old, and I'm 50 years old. So my 20, 30, 40 years of remembrance is not even a grain of sand in the grand scheme of things. So you could just be in a warming trend, and that's just the way the earth is. And there's been warming trends and cooling trends throughout the history of this planet, and I'm sure that some of that is just cyclical. But man, this is insane. This is insane. I had a friend of mine message me yesterday and say that they were going to go up to Bay of Quinte this weekend. So I got on the phone with a friend of mine that lives right there in Belleville, and he's like, we've had the same weather you guys are having down there, because in the grand scheme of things, you know, Bay of Quinte is only about, oh Jesus, in a straight line distance, it can't be more than 75 miles, let's say, maybe 80, from Let's call it Oneida Lake to Bay of Quinte. Maybe it's closer to 100, but even still, that's a drop in the bucket. It's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive, and that's with crossing the border in Alex Bay and having to go around. If it was summertime and you could get the ferry from Cape Vincent to Wolf Island and Wolf Island to the mainland, it's even quicker. If you could launch your boat in Henderson Harbor, it's about a 20-mile run to go straight across. He's like, we're getting the same weather you're getting, and he goes, there's still some ice. He goes, but not a lot. He's like, he goes, you should hold off another week. Man, I am jonesing so bad. I just came from my physical therapy appointment down at the VA, and the shoulder's better. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks since I hurt it again. The shoulder's better and probably good enough to jig for a few minutes. But I want to go fishing. This is the longest I've been without a rod in my hand in at least 9 months. I want to go fishing, You could be fishing the canal right now. It's wide open. It's chocolate milk. And just now, so I'm in Sylvan Beach because I'm going to, work on this bathroom I'm doing. So I came across this morning just now on 31 across the South Shore, and Chittenango Creek in Bridgeport, and I don't know the name of the creek, but comes into Lakeport Bay just east of Lakeport, were raging. I mean, raging, chocolate milk raging. And every place you look, there's standing water in everybody's lawn and everybody's everything. I assume that the Oswego River and probably the Salmon River are going to blow out if they haven't already. You'd probably be better off going out and trolling the shoreline right now for browns and steelhead out on the main lake if you could get out there. It depends on where you... Canaseraga. Okay. That seems about right. I think I knew that, but I didn't. Thanks, Jim G. So it's crazy, I'm planning an ice fishing show for a month from now in hopes that we're even going to have ice, and I feel bad for the retailers that are all stocked up. Runnings has got an ice fishing clearance going on. I just saw a post yesterday from Lakeside Outfitters that they've got a big clearance on all their ice stuff because we're at the halfway point, maybe a little more than a little less than the halfway point of what would typically be an ice fishing season. Any more around here, if we get 3 solid months, 3.5 maybe, so that's sometime before Christmas getting on the ice and it going till somewheres around St. Patrick's Day, maybe a touch later. I see Lakeside Outfitters got a big clearance sale, and go support local. Buy them out. You're gonna get a good price on it. You still may be able to use it this year. And like I say, I mean, I it's funny. I was watching YouTube last night, and I don't much anymore, and I haven't lately because I've been so busy. But last night I got home and I just sat on the couch and I was like, I still had the hope that I could go to Quinte this weekend. And sorry, I was just reading a comment. So I started watching YouTube videos last night and I got all jacked up, in the size of some of those walleyes up on Quinte. I did find one guy, raw fish, all one word, raw fish outdoors, younger kid. Man, I loved this video. The first one had me right on the edge of my seat and gave me some ideas and definitely some things I'm going to do when I do get on the ice. But I got all jacked up on watching these guys catch. I saw on video last night from this year a couple weeks ago, they had them up to 12 pounds. Sign me up. As soon as I can get up there, I'm going. I don't care if I have to jig left-handed. I don't care at this point. But, you know, we're trying to do an ice fishing show. Not trying, we're going to. I'm putting it on, and my point in telling you the story about looking at YouTube last night was I still want to go ice fishing, and I haven't been yet. And I know some people have been out a couple times or even quite a few times on this, you know, in between ice. I want to go. I'm dying to go. So I'm still going to do the ice fishing show. And if by the time February 11th gets here, we got to have ice by then. But there's still going to be, let's say we have ice by the show, we still would have at least another month of good, hard, cold winter weather to get out on. So I'm still excited for it. It just, maybe everybody will be even more excited because all of a sudden you're looking at first ice being when you would be in mid ice. And so it's kind of crazy. It's more than kind of crazy. It's crazy. This weather is crazy. You know, it's 34 degrees. It's kind of snowing. It's raining. It's sleeting. The ride into the city this morning in rush hour traffic was a nightmare. I want winter. And not to mention, everything is just grubby looking. I'm sorry, a lot of people say, oh, I hate snow. I would love a foot of snow right now to cover everything up and be nice and pretty and white. You know, I would love that big time. Let's do comments quick. This isn't going to be long, but let's do some comments quick and see what everybody's doing this morning. Merlin, good morning, buddy. Eric Wisniewski sucks. I know, buddy. Wiz, I'm ready. I'm ready when you are, dude. I'm telling you. Don Terry, good morning. Rain is bad for the ice. That's the understatement of the season so far, Don. Mark Webb, work meeting at 9:30. I'm checking in. Be back later. Mark, you got to prioritize, buddy. Fishing talk is way more important than work talk. Unless fishing talk is work talk. Then it's okay. Jim Hagler, good morning. Tom Alexander, good morning. Eric, you don't have to be far to be in 10 foot of water, but that's not right. First responders at risk. Ice can easily break away their nuts. I'm not casting shade. You know, I'm not throwing shade on people. It just, and I'm assuming they're on a bunch of pack ice that's all packed into this end, but yeah, I wouldn't, but that's just me. I keep looking at this big bluebill over here. He's swimming right down, big Drake bluebill, swimming right down the wall at me. If he gets close, I'll let you guys see him. He's gorgeous, full plumage, beautiful bird, man. Been a warm winter for sure. Yeah, no kidding. Gary Walters, good morning, everyone. Paul Messina, good morning. Courtney, my love, good morning. Although I already knew she was awake, I just talked to her. Nikolai, Mekalekahai, good morning. Kevin Stone, I fished the canal 2 days ago, cast my arms off, no hits. Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of the canal life down here in the wall walkers, but I mean, I'm sure there's got to be fish down in here. Christ's sakes, next thing you know, we're going to be putting the boats back in. Jim Hagler says Salmon River is running 1550 at Pineville, which is a beautiful flow, especially in the drift boat. But my guess is that's going to go much higher. I don't know how much rain we had, and I don't know how far north that rain went, but my yard was flooded. Every place I see is flooded. So if that's all flooded, typically, you know, they're going to blow the Salmon River out. And I don't know, anybody that's got a long history with the Salmon River, who can think of the last time they blew the Salmon River out in the middle of January? By this time of the year, you're winter fishing, it's crystal clear, low, and freezing cold. You know, you're fishing 4-pound or 3-pound test tippets because they see everything, and it's just, they're surviving the winter. to try and get through. Now all of a sudden, if they blow this river out, I'd love to hear from somebody when they think and can remember the last time the river blew out. And when I say blew out, that's over probably, 3,500. You can still get under the Altmar Bridge if everybody lays down and you push off the, your drift boat will scrape the underneath of the bridge, but you can usually get underneath there. Or go over on the other side and slide it in through the parking lot. But to me, anything over 3,500 would be blown out. 4,000 CFS. I can't remember that ever happening. Don Birdie, good morning. Kevin Hoyt, does Oneida Lake have any ice and is it safe? Yeah, there is some ice. Is it safe? I'm not answering that question. Not with a 10-foot pole, Kevin. I'm not going on it, and I'm not going on it this weekend. I had high hopes for this weekend. I thought this week was going to stay colder than what it is, and I didn't think we were going to get the rain we did. And those two things, warm and rain, don't make for good ice to go ice fishing on. So if you're from a long ways away, I'd say stay put. If you're local, I'd say be gosh darn careful. My buddy lives in Stephen House. My buddy lives in northern Michigan, and he is going through the same crazy weather. He has very little ice on the local lakes and ponds, and that's hard to believe because the UP of Michigan is substantially farther north than we are. If you look at latitude lines. Okay, Oswego's at 13,000. That's nothing, but I can't imagine, Jim, that's not going to go higher, because with this much water coming into Oneida, Oswego is downstream of Oneida, so it's all got to go that way. And I'm sure Codnoy is wide open, and probably Phoenix and Fulton as well. 14-day forecast is very choppy with daytime highs well above freezing. Yeah, I know. George Parson, good morning, my friend. Tammy Hoover, it's snowing in Cortland. Yeah, it's snowing here too, a little tiny bit, not doing anything. Keith Horns, time to take up duck hunting. Yeah, all the seasons are closed. I gotta have my limit right here in about 5 seconds before the cops got here and said you can't shoot them. Just Paul, can't wait to get the boat back in. I thought about it this morning. It's still sitting in my driveway. I haven't winterized it yet. I mean, I've winterized it, but I haven't winterized it yet. I could probably get it back in. Jim G, good morning. Conference call, muted fishing report. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and I purchased so much ice fishing gear, and in Maryland we have no ice yet. We are over prepared now, so maybe February 2nd in Deep Creek Lake. Good God, if we don't have ice in the northern areas, I can't imagine that you're going to get it in Maryland. Do you normally get ice in Maryland, like fishable ice in Maryland? That seems a long ways south. Though I have zero experience in the state of Maryland, other than driving through it maybe once or twice. Interesting. That would be interesting. That seems like, what's the farthest south anybody's ever went ice fishing? Meaning other states, not in New York. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. I saw a meme on Facebook yesterday that said said ice fishing in the Northeast in 2023, and the guy standing in waders with his electric auger going and the water splashing up all around him, and there's not a stitch of ice anywhere around. That had me dying laughing. Oh, the lake that you're talking about is in the mountains. Man. All right, you're going to give us all you're going to give us all a little geography lesson today, because now I got to stop and think, what mountain range is in Maryland? The Appalachians? And they have enough elevation for it to get cold? Like cold up there? Question mark. Interesting. I love talking to people. I love how many people jump on. I really love doing these live broadcasts. I like this format a lot, and we will continue to do this all through 2023 because I love this interaction. It gives us time to talk, and even if it's quick, and I love reading these comments and meeting new people. Sorry, that is not a bluebill. It is a ringneck. I can see it from here now. It's still far enough away that you won't be able to see it if I turn the camera around, but there's a hen and a drake right there together. And now that I see him, you can distinctly see the ring around the top of his bill. And he's a little smaller too. All right, everybody. I'm going to head out of here and get to work. I'm not sure what tomorrow's going to bring. I had it circled on my calendar that I was going to go fish and do something. But what and where now is... I don't think that you're going to be able to fish any streams, and I don't think we're going to have any ice. I don't know. Shit. All right. Well, that'll do it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thank you so much for all the support and the love, and for all the comments yesterday. I was a little off what I normally do yesterday as far as topics and conversation. But I'll tell you, I must have had 30 people message me yesterday and say how much yesterday's message resonated with them, and thanked me for it. And I'm not just fishing. None of us are. Nobody is ever any one thing all the time. And we're all human beings, and we're all connected by things that are deeper than fishing in this situation. You know, we all struggle, and together we can help each other, listen to each other, and know always that you're never alone. You're never alone. If it's nothing more than within our little group, tucked away in the internet, you know, you're never alone. You can always feel free to reach out to me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You can DM me privately. You know, if you want to talk something out or whatever, but you're never, ever alone. I promise you that. Have a great day. It's Friday. Even though it looks like it's going to be a wet, soggy weekend, it's still Friday. It's still the weekend. A lot of great games this weekend. I haven't looked at the playoff schedule yet, but when the weather sucks, might just well stay inside and watch some football. So, all right, everybody. Have a great Friday. I love you guys. Looking at the last questions. Keep your tip up.